Hello, folks. Welcome to our quick Bitcoin market update. Mm, it's going to be a very quick one because I didn't really detected anything big. But let us talk about what happened today and what can we expect. Well, right now we have the block view of our whales ratio. As detected yesterday, it dumped, and I was expecting a positive price action. It happened. The interesting case here, you can see the yellow curve is showing us the stablecoin reserves on exchanges just declined from 27.75 billion to 27.5 billion, indicating 500 million less in stablecoin reserves on exchanges. And that matches to my tweet from today, where I have just tweeted a chart showing. I can show you that, showing what. Sorry, so no, showing what happened. We received tonight a big inflow in Coinbase on Coinbase. It was actually 5,000 bitcoins. But before we received almost 300 million, it was actually a bit more. Well, a bit. It was actually 500 million US dollars in stablecoins. Few hours before, that's very interesting because they were expecting something, and they have started to distribute this 5,000 bitcoins, and we can see the cash out. That's the stablecoin outflow, this almost 500 million US dollars. So I was expecting after the cash out that we would start to lift up afterwards, and that happened. I have started to long, very close to the local bottom, and yeah, I'm still longing, but I have a tiny stop loss with gain, so I think it will trigger very soon. Well, let us check the hourly view as well. Mm, I couldn't detect anything special right now that could indicate that we are going to make any big move. As you can see, the width ratio, also in hourly view, is making, yeah, well, it's just moving in a wide range between the top of 1 to 0.7. That's actually the minimum. Everything below would indicate something what happened here, at least a positive price action. Right now it's just indicating that the sell pressure is declining, and we can see that in the in our price action right now. If we take a look here, we did it, we went up, we failed here to break out, and right now we are retracing. My stop loss is at 42.6, so in case we touch 42.6, I would expect even more negative price action, but we have to see. My momentum indicator is showing me that well, positive price action should happen, something like a pump. We have started lifting up with such a pump, and we have to see. So it's possible that we will lift up even more. I have checked the exchanges and the walls. It's very interesting what's happening there. We will talk about that next. Well, but however, let me refresh the chart just to see if something happened since my last check. But no. So what we can see here is that the Bitcoin inflows on exchanges is declining. We are not receiving big inflows in stablecoins, and even the cash out, it seems, is done. Um, it's possible that they still have some tokens on Coinbase, and we will maybe have a little bit more stablecoin outflow, but as maybe you can see that the green curve is indicating or showing the stablecoin inflows, and it's rising right now, but it's nothing big. So I can imagine if we are not going to dump now, because in all view, or that's actually 30 minutes view in my chart here. It's showing that we were almost overbought, so um, it makes sense that the Bitcoin price would retrace now and maybe to lift up afterwards. We have to see otherwise if we are missing the opportunity to move up and actually to have a breakout here. I would think that we can even try to retest this area between 41.8 and 42. We have to see. But it seems these guys are going to trigger my stop loss. That's really pain. Yeah, here. And that's nothing. What's happening right now, it's very interesting because they let dump the price. And like they did here, they let dump the price, then they start to buy with their stable coins and absorb this bitcoins in lower areas, lower ranges. That's fine for them, but it's pain for me because of my stop loss. But it's okay. I did some gain, and that's fine. Well, yeah, as mentioned before, I didn't detect anything big anymore. You can see here the stablecoin outflows, the stablecoin inflows. Everything is cooling down right now, it seems. We have received from Huobi a few hours ago 2000. Let me check. No, not 2200. That's nothing. So since the last Coinbase inflow, nothing happened really. We received here from Gimini in the morning as well, but that's now 12 hours ago, 850 Bitcoin. So it wasn't that bad today related to the inflows, but it seems it was a coordinated sell operation because these guys just refilled their bags with stablecoins and have started to absorb this sell. So we didn't receive any big impact to the price action. Even here we can see some movements related to Binance, also some um, inflows, 1,000 to 1,400 bitcoins per hour. Also it's okay, but nothing big. Yeah, the same here. We have the yellow curve here. It's indicating the exchange reserves related to stablecoins, and you can see it's declining. But I would bet they will refill their reserves very soon. And yeah, while the outflows are right now declining, the inflows in stablecoins are rising. So I would expect, even if these guys are letting the price now decline, but I guess we will lift up even more. But that's just a theory at the moment because I don't have any data that would show me that. I mean, even if we can see that the wealth ratio um, is not maintaining the top level, indicating that more sell pressure is coming, it looks very stable, everything. And stable means If we are not getting big inflows right now, that could indicate a potential big sell pressure. I would say they let the price just retrace to buy in the lower ranges and then to lift up again. But I'm not going. I mean, if they trigger my stop loss now with almost 15% realized P&L, I would say I'm done for today. I'm not going too long, and I'm not sure if I'm going too long this weekend. And maybe that would be possible because of the Super Bowl. We will talk about the Super Bowl just next, but yeah, it's maybe too risky. I'm not sure at the moment, but yeah, this area was indicating to me that we are not going to dump, not today. As you guys know, I'm not really convinced that this market is looking bullish, as many are trading at the moment, and I'm getting some hate comments that I'm a bear and too bearish and whatever. I don't care. I really don't care. If if you guys think that I'm totally biased, then I'm fine with that. I really don't care. I would say I'm short-term bullish at the moment, but the market doesn't look very good. The volume is not really rising. It's maintaining very low, and we should have in mind also the monetary policy. Everything that I have mentioned yesterday is still on place. So for me, it's almost impossible to be now very bullish, but we will see. Well, then let us check also the what happened in the option trades. Actually, we have next week, Friday, another expiry, and it was very interesting to see that the max pain for next week, Friday, is at 42K, indicating that's um, at least more bullish than the last Friday expiry. We have a lot of volume in puts, but at 41K. So these guys are, yeah, indicating with their trade they are expecting a price below 41K for next Friday. But we have also some at calls at 48K, for example, indicating these guys are the opposite of this put traders, and they are expecting just a price above of 48K. Also, if I'm checking some recent trades, I see here for next Friday, and that's the biggest one with 25 million in volume, puts at 43K, indicating these guys are speculating that the price will be below, um, sorry, above of 43K. So it's, yeah, very interesting to see what's happening here, but also I wouldn't say that the expiry next week is going to be very helpful because we have a very low open interest. We have almost 500 million. That's not really big. Interesting is going to be the yeah, February 25th. We have a 41K max pain, so $1,000 lower than the expiry for next week. But at least we have there an open interest of 1.4 billion, and that's really nice. It's not huge compared, for example, to the March expiry. That's the quarter one, so this is it's very usual that this one is big, but the February one looks also very interesting. And we have there, for example, calls at 45K, and that's not really bearish in my opinion. However, the max pain in general for option trading rise from 40k to 41k. Also, this is a bullish sign at the moment. Mm, but yeah, as mentioned several times now, I'm not really convinced that we are going to moon very soon. I think we will retest. We will, just because of Super Bowl and to generate some fresh money, we will generate some demand. We will lift up, of course. I mean, that's a marketing campaign. They are spending almost 8 million US dollars in commercials just for this day. And it wouldn't attract any fresh money if Bitcoin would dump at the same time, you know. So I think that's part of the game. I think yesterday or 2 days ago, Tether has printed another billion. 200 million of this billion just went directly to FTX afterwards. And I don't know what happened with the remaining 800 million US dollars. But I don't know. I think they will surprise us. So yeah. So option trading looks great. A little bit more bullish than bearish, but also here not a big gap at the moment. I was just checking also the long-short ratio on futures, and the last 12 hours a little bit more longs than shorts, and the last 24 hours more shorts than longs. So also here, no big change in the last 4 hours, 52% more, well, longs versus 48% of shorts. So nothing big, and of course that changed. So it's a little bit following the price action right now. It's not really helpful. If we check the funding rate, so showing and indicating us a little bit the demand of the last 8 hours for the instruments, we can see here we have a Binance a little bit more demand for shorts, while FTX, yeah, nothing big. It looks very neutral, so also not really helpful. I think nobody knows exactly what's going to happen next, and I agree with that. The only thing that could be helpful at the moment is the exchange walls I will show you next. So they triggered my stop loss. Okay, well, 15% gain, that's okay. Let us check here the entity analysis. I don't know what happened right now. Okay, okay, that's enough. Oh, okay, I know what happened. So we can see here our friends are still buying, the market makers. I don't know why it's not indicating the recent okay, now it looks much better. So I was expecting from here, I was expecting they would start to sell. Even the price action is showing that someone is selling, but these guys are buying. And as mentioned several times now, these guys just buy in two scenarios. They buy to accumulate, like last summer. They buy quick, means they buy quick in lower half to sell in upper half. I think, and it seems, and that's what these guys are confirming at the moment, we are still in the lower half. They are still buying, and that means to me we have to lift up to sell in upper half. So it's absolutely possible that we will reach 48K, for example, just related to the Super Bowl to start to sell there. And in my opinion, we will have see some dumps after Super Bowl. I think Super Bowl will start to generate just FOMO and as mentioned, it's just about to generate more demand. But yeah, we need to see. It's very interesting to see that these guys are buying while other entities, for example, 100 to 1000 Bitcoin wallets, are not really buying. They are still in a downward trend. Or these guys here, they have started to buy a little bit, but that's not really big. So it seems so whales in general are selling, but these guys, yeah, are buying. And as mentioned in the past, these guys, in my opinion, are the best in trade behavior. They know very well what's going to happen next. And in my opinion, they have information advantage. That means they know exactly what's going to happen, special events, data releases, whatever, because they start to sell or to buy perfect in time. Right now, they are buying, even if the other whales, well, except this one, 1 to 10 Bitcoin wallets, these guys are accumulating, but they are not moving the market. We can check what retailers are doing. So wallets with less than 1 Bitcoin, yeah, okay. They are just buying all the time. That's fine. Yeah, so that's actually everything because we don't receive any big information, but we have some interesting events. And I'm wondering why nobody were talking about because that's really huge. But first of all, let us check what's going to happen tomorrow. So let me see. Okay. I mean tomorrow, next week, sorry. We have PPI, that's nothing we should care about, but we have next week, Wednesday, is going to be a very interesting day. We have the Fed meeting minutes, so I think the Fed will talk about the development of inflation that could generate volatility again, so be very careful next week, Wednesday. Retail sales, that's also something. We had a previous of minus almost 2%. The forecast should be now bigger, 1 to 8%. If we fail here, the forecast, you can imagine stocks will dump and BTC will follow. So we have to be very careful next week, Wednesday, okay? Keep that in mind. I will tweet and remind you that. But for me, Wednesday is going to be a very interesting day. Another topic, and that's relatively new. We have, yeah, that's very new. It seems from today. Something that was very bearish in my opinion, but it seems they changed the content of the infrastructure bill. They will not consider crypto miners and stakers as crypto brokers. That means that's actually, in my opinion, very bullish, and I don't get why nobody was tweeting about that because I know some channels on Twitter they would use this kind of information to generate some FOMO, but I don't know, I missed that, it seems. But this is really bullish because it's indicating that also for stakers, everything that's related to DeFi, even if you are well mining in your flat and your house, whatever, um, yeah, it's not going to be something that yeah, where you don't need to provide any reports or data to the related to the IRS. And I remember last year when they have started to discuss about the content of the US infrastructure bill, and they defined crypto miners and stakers as yeah, crypto brokers, and that was absolutely worst case, but they changed and nobody talked about. Well, however, we have, if I'm not wrong, we have next week Super Bowl, also something you should have in mind, right? Let us check a little bit the walls, and I will show you what happened today. That was part of my tweet, actually today as well. I will reduce a little bit the peak, BTC peak, just to make clear what happened here. Coinbase received those 5,000 Bitcoin, right, as mentioned. And these guys did a very good job. They start to um, rise the sell pressure to push the price down. You can see a lot of activity above of the price, indicating they were limiting the way up, and we had less activity below the price. And we can see here, for example, it seems they tried, and they tried actually, they tried, this candle is showing that very well. They tried to break up, they tried to lift up, and Coinbase just raised the sell pressure to flip the price action against a negative. We dumped once again, and imagine we received those 5,000 Bitcoin here. Okay. And it's very interesting because they have started to sell and then they have started um, just to generate some buy pressure here. You can see the activity was rising, but at the same time to maintain the price. Okay, that's absolutely different to what you can see here, the whole chart. They have started here to control the price and to generate buy and sell pressure to maintain this tiny trade range. Then they have stopped, the price lifted up again, and now we are moving again here in this area. So it's under control. Everything is under control. These guys know very well how to make business. And also very interesting, because I was reading some person that were saying, wow, we are going to pump like crazy today. No, we are not. Binance is limiting the way up at 44K with volume orders or orders with a volume of 800 Bitcoin and the whole way up. So even if we start to reach 43.5, my exit point for my long was actually 43.5 to 43.8. But well, as mentioned, they triggered my stop loss, so I'm done with the future trading for today. And yeah, so nothing will happen. If we start here to reduce the volume of orders, we can see what's happening. We have a lot of, well, relatively big orders just here, beginning with 43.5. And yeah, a cluster of mid volume orders just below 41.6. So I don't think that we can retest this area again. We are talking about 42K. That could be possible, but I think even if we would start to dump now, I think they will try to maintain 42.4, 42.3 to lift up again. However, just keep in mind, okay, it's going to be a challenge at the moment. Just if they start really to send big amounts of stable coins to the exchanges to pump hard, then it's of course possible to cross all these walls, but otherwise, I don't think so. Well, yeah, I have showed you Coinbase. Let me show you Bitfenix. Mm, Actually, a lot of activity around the current price, but nothing. Just if I start to reduce the volume, but it doesn't look very. Yeah, it actually you can see very interesting. You can see the activity on the current candle, but it's at the moment not really useful. I think we will maintain this price area again and to let sell and buy at this area. But it's at the moment not indicating if we are going to go to pump hard afterwards or not. Um, Actually, that is FTX. That was Bitfinex. So if I reduce a little bit, we are talking about an order volume of 250 Bitcoin right now. We can see here these guys are limiting 41.1 and 44. So 44 should be the key if you're longing, um, because it's not in their plan to let the price go up above 44k. That's how it looks like. Okay. So, and I think it looks better to short at the moment than to long. But it doesn't look very solid for me, so I'm not going to place any long or short at the moment. Well, then we have Kraken, of course, but nothing big. So Kraken is low volume. It's not really a good indicator. Yeah. So in my opinion, we should have in mind 42 to 44 should be our next trade range. Maybe until tomorrow we have to see. Sunday is always a special day. So I look forward what will happen. In case I get some strong signal, it doesn't matter if bullish or bearish, I will treat that. Okay? And in such case, I would maybe mention if I'm longing or shorting. I don't want to tell you my direct trade strategy because I don't want to influence your trade strategy. I don't want that you follow my trade strategy because my goal, as I mentioned several times, my goal is just to provide the information to give you the opportunity to create your own trade strategy. That's how you will make big steps as a trader and to understand the market in a better way. Well, and actually, that's it for today. FTX has spent some millions for a commercial for the Super Bowl, and I don't know if you guys just watched the commercial already, but I'm not sure if that's a joke, but let us check the video together. So these guys are giving away some bitcoins. It seems eight bitcoins to 9 bitcoins, whatever. But yeah, I don't know if that's an image for related to crypto. That's an innovative market, and it looks so conservative actually. But I don't know. Well, they have spent some millions in this kind of commercials for the Super Bowl. We have to see. And yeah, that's it for today. Unfortunately, not big news. I will check right now if I have some questions. Okay, thank you, mate. Um, David Donado is asking what's the best site for heat maps? Trading Light, mate. I'm actually, I don't know if that's the best, but I'm using Trading Light because I'm tracking Bitfenix activities and I can do that very well. Zooming in, zooming out, and these guys are adding more indicators and useful tools to the heat map. I like it. It's not really expensive, and they have a very nice community as well. So yeah, I like them. So another question from David Donato: why would they sell on Coinbase instead of OTC? Well, don't ask me, ask them. Actually, they love to use Coinbase, as I know Elon Musk used Coinbase. MicroStrategy is, well, I'm not sure. I think Michael loves to buy directly from miners, but um, I heard that MicroStrategy is sometimes also making some trades on Coinbase. I don't know actually. Crypto Mike is asking, do you think likely scenario pump to 55 to 65 and down to 26 and 70K? Yes, everything is possible because everything depends on supply and demand. So if the demand is big enough, okay, if they can generate some FOMO, if they can generate some hope, whatever, and they can generate demand enough to absorb their coins the way up, it will be possible. But we failed at 69K, and I'm not sure if 65K is possible. It's not a prediction, it's just a feeling right now. I think 55 it's possible, okay? If they start to generate some FOMO, that would be possible. And I was reading some FOMO news coming from some institutional, so that's something we should have in mind. However, taking into account the current monetary policy and that what I explained yesterday, forget the whole Russia issue. I um, actually my specific my scope and my study of economics was geopolitics. In my opinion, it doesn't make any sense for Russia to invade Ukraine. To make that clear, they can surprise me, but I cannot imagine that. Mm, I think these tensions. I don't know why we have these tensions right now, but many people are saying, ho ho, next week it could be very interesting. Maybe the market will crash because of the Russia tensions. I don't believe that. So 20 to 17K could be a worst case scenario related to the monetary policy. Inflation will rise even more because we are not doing anything against. So from March on, they will start with tapering, they will start with rate hikes, and after that, we have to wait for the next data releases if something is changing. If not, they will suck much more money, capital from the markets, also from crypto, and 26 to 17K would be a scenario where I say that's absolutely possible. I have said several times now, monetary policy have an impact to the markets with delay, okay? Because all actors will try to exit and not making loss, at least the big ones. That means they will start to form dead cat bounces. They will start, and I mean that's what's happening at the moment, and in the last few weeks. That's for me also indicating these guys are trying to take the exit. Crypto has at the moment a big problem, as even some very bullish biased analysts have detected, the market is very close to the bear market because of retailers. We are missing a lot of retailers. The market activity is very low, and that's absolutely not bullish at all. So if they can reach 55K in the next weeks, chapeau, because at the moment I don't see the demand. Another YouTube question, Crypto Mike. If I could ask you just one more question, how long do you think could the bear market take time? Well, everything depends again from a monetary policy. Um, Such a monetary policy have an impact to the markets with delay. At the same time, as soon as the Fed starts to switch maybe, and if they see that they're tapering and rate hikes have any effect to the inflation, and they see that the inflation is declining a little bit, and they will start maybe yeah, to change in monetary policy, um, then it could happen that we in 6 months or 9 months we can start to see some light. But it doesn't look like, because I mean, what we are seeing, it's the inflation is related to a supply chain problem that we have because of COVID, because of the situation with China, but at the same time an energy crisis, for example, in Europe. That's nothing that we can solve in just few months. And even then, it will take time before it has a positive impact also to the inflation rate. So, in my opinion, if they start really with all the monetary policy they have in mind, we will have a long, long bear market, unfortunately. It wasn't part of my plan, I have to say. I have said we will crash. We will have something like a crash. That would be something like a retest because of regulation stuff that's going to happen, because of the monetary policy. But right now it doesn't look very good. We have to see what happens in the next month. But I think that's going to be yeah, a bear market that can take maybe 6 months and more. Something we should have in mind. Robbie Young, will the Fed increase rates straight away from Monday's emergency meeting? Well, as I'm not part of the Fed, I cannot tell you if that's going to happen, but I can imagine that they will take very seriously the situation, and I really hope they are not going to push even more, because then they will trigger a chain reaction in all markets. The stock market is not looking very great, and as we have seen, Bitcoin likes to follow, for example, SPX. Also here we have Wednesday. Next Wednesday is going to be a key day for us, to respond to your question. Keith Sun, is that the first time when Sailor bought the dip without dump? Wow, what a question. I don't know. I'm not tracking his trade behavior. I think it's much more a rolling joke that everybody is saying when Michael yeah, buy that the market is dumping. But I think he is very accurate. So if that's true, that every time when Michael is buying, we have a bigger dip, believe me, we will have this bigger dip. Actually, it's something that I'm still expecting. I'm not away from my yeah, plan or from my forecast that we will retest the 33K. Maybe not next week, and maybe it takes a little bit longer, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I don't know. But I'm convinced we will retest this range again. We are not done. In my opinion, we are not done. So another question. Sorry for the newbie question. Okay, that's related to the exchange walls. Sells buy walls that limit the prices on the exchanges. Are they coming from the exchanges themselves or from whales trading in these exchanges? Something I cannot tell you. I think that's a combination maybe of both. I mean, if exchanges are involved here, that would be very unfair in my opinion, because I think an exchange should have another function than to be a proactive actor in the market, um, because they could manipulate, of course, the market price action, right? They have information advantage. They have much more information we have, for example. So I, yeah, I cannot reply to this question. I think both is possible. Another question from YouTube: can we see parabolic bull run in 2022? What is your opinion, sir? Mm, let us take a look. But I mean, at the moment, I my expectations, my predictions are related to many informations, not only to TA, not only to on-chain, because we have a lot of stuff in front of us. Regulation, nobody knows exactly what is Biden going to sign, right? Nobody knows the content of the executive order, and so that's something where I'm struggling. I mean, maybe he will surprise us, and that's not going to be that bearish, and then we have a huge bull run. But at the moment, I don't think so. So we need regulation. Nobody knows how big, how strong, how hard the regulation is going to be. We have the monetary policy, and the monetary policy in our current case is always pain in the ass for all traders and markets. So taking the status quo, I have to say no way that we will have see a big bull run in 2022, and maybe also 2023. We are not going to see such a big bull run. We will maybe see, like in every bear market, fake rallies, poor quality rallies, so with low volume, bear traps, bull traps. Um, the good thing is, if you know you are in a bear market, just play with these rules and you can make a lot of money. Make more money, accumulate more assets, and just chill and wait. Because that's what a good trader just does. Buy when it's low and then just wait. Regulation, after the regulation, many people are scared about the regulation, but the regulation is the preface of the mass adoption. Institutionals will jump in. I mean, as mentioned last time, 400 billion US dollars are waiting just in Germany by institutionals. They just wait to see some regulation framework to measure their risk. If it's possible for a German institution to invest in Bitcoin and in other assets like Ethereum and alts in general, or not. So in case that we will have a really pro-crypto regulation framework, um, That could be a very interesting thing because, yeah, we will see a bear market. That's nothing we can prevent then, but they will start to accumulate a lot in these lower price ranges. And that's something we should have in mind. So even if we shift to bear market and even if Bitcoin declines or dumps to 25K, try to think positive because I'm going to accumulate as much as I can. Crypto is the future. We don't need to talk about if crypto will survive or not. Crypto will survive, and you will see, and mark my words, at the moment China is banning crypto. In a few years, China will invest again in crypto. Um, but after a crash, after regulation, whatever is going to happen, that's something you should have in mind because only then you will be successful. Only then you will make a lot of money with crypto. That happens in the history of markets many times. That's really very common. Augustus 31. How about opinion? Oh, how about option expiry on next Friday? Well, as mentioned, um, it's not a big one. We have almost an open interest of 500 million. That's really nothing compared to the expiry February 25th or March 25th with almost 1.4 billion US dollars. So at the moment, I would say our max pain there is at 41K, and that's something where I say we are right now at 42.6. So nothing big. Even if we lift up, I think we can decline afterwards, close before Friday, just maybe to 43K or something. But the information for the next expiry is not really useful at the moment. Another YouTube question. Why BTC would pump during the Super Bowl weekend? Well, why? Because everything else would be a kick in Sam's ass, I would say. These guys, I mean, FTX, Crypto.com, they are investing some millions in commercials. And we'll just make the question, if you want to sell something and your product is looking like shit, nobody wants to buy this product, would you make commercials for that? And even if you have placed these commercials, you will try everything to pump the price up. Otherwise, it's a nonsense. Um, I mean, just imagine that was just a joke, but just imagine um, they will start with these commercials, middle in the Super Bowl. Millions of Americans are watching these commercials, and the first thing they do is just, I don't know, check the Bitcoin price, and the Bitcoin price is just dumping like hell. I mean, the first thing they will say is not, oh, look, that's really cheap. I'm going to buy now with all my money Bitcoin. They will say, oh, Jesus, I'm not going to invest in such assets. So, in my opinion, they will try everything to pump up the price for the Super Bowl. And as mentioned before, Tether printed 1 billion, 200 million went directly to FTX. I'm still missing 800 million. I don't know where this 800 million are. So that's something I have in mind. And I'm sure they will try to surprise us. Well, no more questions it seems. I would wait for a few minutes if something is coming in. Otherwise, I would say we are done for today. Pet is writing, it seems. Let us wait a minute. They did it again. I don't know. They triggered my stop loss and then they lifted up again. That's so, I really hate some traders, some whales. Okay, Pat. Don't write a whole story, please. Okay. When was the 1 billion inflow statement calls printed again? And when do you think that 200 started getting priced in? I think FTX just placed this 300 million and they played out already, and they're remaining at 800 millions. I was let me check a little bit because I received this information about Tether, the 1 billion, directly on Twitter. I have to check where that was. Otherwise, I will retweet that later on. But I was a little bit surprised to see that Tether is working again. And I mean, 1 billion, it's huge. But yeah, Binance USD is very active at the moment. USDC is very active at the moment. They printed a lot also in the last few days, 250 million, another 250 million, two times 140 million. So it's happening a lot there. But at the moment, I can't find um, the 1 billion of Tether. But I know I like that and I was surprised. So I will retweet that. Okay? Well, okay. YouTube. Oh, let me see. YouTube question. If we are holding a loss, what should be the perfect strategy made? What I'm doing when I'm not really sure what's going to happen next, for example, I'm holding some bags, um, some alts, okay? So in case I don't really know what's going to happen next and I want just to stabilize my potential loss risk, I short. I just short Bitcoin and maintain my altbacks. So in case we dump, for example, I'm going to make some gain with my short. And in case we go up, well, what should I say? Um, Better for me in both cases. It doesn't matter. Of course, I'm reducing my gains with that, but that's my strategy to reduce my loss. In any case, I mean, if you are a long-term investor, don't care about it's just relative loss, right? So yeah, I'm just I mean I'm investing just in strong projects. I know these projects will make huge gain in the future and I don't care. I really don't care. Augustus 31. Do you think Russia invade Ukraine? It's a geopolitical drama. Again, no, I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen because I don't see the sense why Russia should do that. Russia is right now in a different phase. They are not in the phase to declare war to anyone. Um, they are more on a different level at the moment. So I don't know why we have these tensions right now. Because just because Russia is having some drills with Belarus doesn't make sense. We had several years ago big NATO drills directly at Russian's border, and nobody said anything, right? We had in Finland, Sweden, Scandinavia, the whole Scandinavia area, in Poland. I remember um, long trains crossing whole Germany with U.S. tanks, um, like Cold War, and everything was fine. I really don't get where these tensions are coming from. Maybe, yeah, it's a preparation for something. I really don't know, but I don't believe that Russia is going to invade Ukraine because I don't see the sense behind such an action. Yeah, an action. Um, Crypto Mike, which coins would you DCA? Thanks so much for your time here. That's something I'm not going to talk about here on in the stream. I don't chill any assets. Um, Sometimes I talk about strong projects where I'm convinced they will be very useful related to the transformation of the economy because we are right now in a transition. That means that we will, until 2030, 2035, in my opinion, the whole political agenda will adjust to what I call transformation of the economy. We know many of you just know that many companies, and that's very trendy, are talking about digital transformation. And I, that's the trend. And that's why I say crypto is the future. So don't be scared, even if we start to dump very hard. Also, in such a crash scenario, um, take it as the best opportunity to buy it very, very low. Because in 5 to 10 years, you have to think mid to long term. Um, these assets will be um, make they will make huge price jumps, and so we need to use this kind of opportunities, bear markets, crash, whatever, to buy. At least I'm going to make this. That's not a financial advice, of course not. I'm not recommending that. I'm just saying it's my opinion, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not all in crypto, by the way. I have splitted my whole investment money in 3 different assets, and crypto is one of them. So another and the last question for today, what about Russia war? Okay, another. Uh, Again, yeah, you say that. That's in my opinion, that's just food. That's just I don't know if they need to push the price of the stock market just a little bit down. I don't get that. Um, in my view related to what I know about geopolitics, it doesn't make absolutely no sense for Russia to invade Ukraine. It doesn't make sense. I mean, if they didn't that years ago, where they had some problems with Ukraine related to the Nord Stream pipeline, why should they now invade Ukraine having a Nord Stream 2 pipeline? So they are preventing even to have any business context to the Ukraine related to gas business for Europe. So I really don't see what could be the problem. Of course, if the NATO is um, taking Ukraine as a member, that would be for Russia a big yeah threat for them at least. And but I don't see that. I really don't see that. That's not like Georgia, okay? That's not like this war we had where the Russians were also involved in the whole crisis. I don't at the moment I can't see that. I would spend more time with all that. In my opinion, that's my personal opinion. All these tensions is just to solve, and it's favorizing both sides, the Russians and the US. I mean, I was detecting some interesting news related to the arm industry. So Finland is now buying F-35 from the US. Some other countries want to buy now some helicopters and missiles from Russia. I mean, they did in the last year. They developed new generation arms, and now it's time just to sell them. The Cold War was the best and highlight um, sell business moments for the arm industry, and I think we are just going back to these times, unfortunately. Nothing I like, because I'm German. I know what it was to live in the Cold War, but it's not in our hands. However, I'm not scared about the tension at the moment. Yeah, the only way to improve arms technology, etc., is war. Doesn't matter what kind of war. Mughal, you are absolutely right. That's really absolutely right. However, taking into account Russians' last trades they signed with India, for example, and mostly with India, that was a very interesting step because Donald Trump tried to do exactly the same, and that never happened afterwards because Joe Biden just moved to the Oval Office afterwards, but now is Putin doing that, and that's indicating me they are in some preparation. It's not time to have a war. However, such tensions bring, um, of course, also to the people in mind what can happen, and they are ready to spend more time in arms, for example. So if the government start to say we are going to invest billions and billions now in missiles and F-35 and ships and whatever, nobody is going to go to the streets to demonstrate. And I think that's a combination of everything. Mm, in my opinion, everything what's happening right now, it's much more business than something that has to do with military tensions, in my opinion. Okay, the last question from David Donado. Last question. If the rate hikes cause a crash, it's, let's say, the housing market or some other sector is always does, will the Fed retreat its position and resume the money printing? No. No. For the Fed, the key is inflation. And I mean, that's priced in already if the house market crash, for example. That's something that the government has to fix then. But it's not the Fed's um, responsibility then. Even if they printed a lot of cheap money and they have formed a lot of bubbles. I mean, if you check the capital, the huge capital that we have in the stock markets, in my opinion, we have formed a lot of different bubbles. And yes, of course, they will maybe, hopefully not, but I think they will explode, such kind of bubbles, they will blast. And but that's priced in already. So I don't think that's going to be a game changer because of that, because inflation, you can imagine, I mean, we are talking right now about 7.5%. Um, Inflation, if we are raising the inflation to 10 to 15 to 20%, I mean, we are not talking about hyperinflation. I hope not. Like in Argentina in 2000 and whatever. So I don't think that's going to be a game changer um, because the Fed doesn't have many options right now. They missed to reduce the money printing before, and now they have two options: do or die. So yeah, I'm sorry to say that. That really doesn't sound very optimistic, but it's how it is. Maybe China can make more pressure and convince the Fed to change again to the money printer, but I think that's not going to happen at the moment. So we have to see. Thank you very much, folks. for watching my stream today. Big love to all of you. Have a nice weekend. Stay safe. I will keep updating you on Twitter in case I have some information that could be relevant for your trade strategy. Otherwise, we will see us Monday. I will send the text version of the market analysis from Monday to Friday. That's a quick one, as I have showed yesterday, but I don't like the structure. I have to change something. However, send me some feedback. Wednesday I will stream again just because of the Fed meeting and because of the data we will release there. But because I think they will generate some volatility again. We have seen last week, so the price can pump and dump afterwards, or the opposite. We have to see. However, that's my plan from Monday to Friday. A quick written analysis, 2 to 3 days in a week, a little stream where we can talk, where you can place your questions and I can answer. So God bless you all. Have a nice evening or a nice day. Big love. See you soon. Bye bye.